Excuse me. All right, everybody. Hope you're having yourselves a fantastic start to the AM. Happy Thursday. Is it Thursday? Where has the week gone? Yeah, hope you're having yourselves a great day here. Ready to hopefully have ourselves a great trading day. And we can look to take advantage of basically any momentum that is available for us here today. Same deal, right? Like we've seen here so far this week. It's been a relatively bouncy bit of price action, right? Without necessarily a tremendous amount of range. If we look at this on the weekly, right, time frame, kind of see that we're very much in the basically middle, right? Or give or take middle of the weekly range here. So not a huge indication, right, of trending price action or a huge reason, right, for us, to be hyper aggressive, right, and to assume that we're going to get a bigger move than what we've seen here so far. Obviously, yesterday, pretty impressive bounce back day in the markets. Not quite all-time highs in ES, new all-time highs, right, in NQ. And that's pretty interesting, right, as we creep up closer and closer towards the roll. Now, the roll is going to happen on Tuesday next week. So that's obviously going to be something that's going to be a little bit interesting and will slow me down probably on Tuesday. So maybe just trade CL that day. And I've had a few questions about that here this week. But really focus, right? Today's basically the same thing I've been focusing all week, right? Last 10 days, last 20 days even. Cut losers quickly. Be aggressive protecting profit, right? So don't let big wins turn into losses or small wins. And then add to winners aggressively when you get good signs of follow through. And you can go or increase your position sizing without increasing your total amount of risk, right? Those have been the sort of three elements that have been relatively successful here for me in the last little bit. And I see no reason to change that, right? Or no reason to alter any of those parameters until we can kind of, get like a market, right, that gives us more follow through. Really what I want people to stop trusting, right, is stop assuming that you're going to get bigger follow through than what you're getting. Taking and compounding your $500 days or $1,000 days is a lot more valuable than letting a $500 day turn into a $50 day. And then I want people to stop trusting that their losses are going to turn into wins. On those trades where we're successful, we're usually successful right away, right? Or within a reasonable period. If we're going to spend 15 minutes in drawdown on a 3-min setup, you're probably wrong, right? If you're not correct on your timing, what else are you wrong about here on your trade? And for me, that is very important for us to be objective there and to be able to basically get out, reset, and try again. That's the same thing, right? If we're going to be aggressive closing our winning trades, closing as our P&L is increasing, or closing, when we're at the upper end of our candlesticks or lower end of our candlesticks if we're bearish, we can always jump back in, right? If it then gives us another setup, if it then gives us a breakout here again, we don't have to avoid that setup. We can look to trade that opportunity here and continue to just manage our risk, right? And be kind of methodical, right, within that context. So with that being said, it's 9:05 here. Let's start mapping things out. Let's figure out what we want to do here this morning, and let's set ourselves up for what should hopefully be a fantastic trading day. So first things first, right, we had jobless claims here this morning. We got core PPI, PPPI, right, Mississippi I, all over the place here today. And then no 10:30 data or 10 a.m. data here today either. We got nat gas. That's fine. It's not really a big deal for us when we're trading crude. So let's see how the day shapes up. ES here, guys. What's the count? Let's start there. And good morning, John, Cordell, Topher, Suresh, Joe, Craig, Jack. Hope you're all doing well here this morning and are ready for what should hopefully be an interesting trading day. And yeah, spot on here. 1 for 3 to the upside. And so we're looking for a breakout towards all-time highs. So 61.10, right, would be the starting point here. And then we got 61.20. We can, hey, Bruno, we can go up towards maybe 61.50. Jeez, where did I go? Where did I get 5,000 from? Okay. And then to the downside here, right? A rejection at all-time highs. Then break down towards 60-40, right? Would be a good starting point here. Maybe we could go 60-60. That's pre-market low. Fine. Any questions with ES? Make sense? And just want to mention a little word of congratulations here to Rain. His $6,400 payout cleared and hit his bank account. So he's had a fantastic little run of form here. Congratulations, man. And hopefully many more to come. All right, NQ. What's the count here? Yeah, 2 out of 3 to the upside with volume. So a little bit of a stronger indication of trending price action. And so we're going to be targeting yesterday's high. So 21.8, right, would be the starting point here. So ORB. So 21.8, right, 21.9. Man, 22,000 is a crazy. Cool. And then to the downside here, right, we're going to go NA, right, because we've got that trending volume here. So again, unless we get bigger. Sweet. Make sense? All right, sweet. What's the count here on CL? Little trend line breakout, right? All right, so a little trend line breakout, right? 2 out of 3 to the upside with volume. So we're looking for a continuation up towards that next point of contact on that trend line, which is approximately 71.50. Go all the way up maybe towards 73. So we'll go 71. Do we have a bearish case here? And then why or why not would we? Any thoughts, team? Any thoughts? Yeah, trend continuation, right? And we've got a pattern breakout here that indicates a little bit of a trend reversal. So we're either looking for a bounce off that trend line to continue higher, or we're looking for a separation away from that trend line. And if we don't get that scenario, right, we'll look to reset and have a different plan for tomorrow. Okay, Apple, let's count. Yeah, 2 out of 3 to the downside with volume, right? So a little bit of a different narrative, right, to what we're seeing on the index level. If our leading names here are across the board and our indexes are going to be telling us a separate story, what does that maybe give us a warning of? And Tesla's a lunatic. Yeah, indecision, right? Tell us choppy price action. So if we've got our leading names, right, pulling in one direction, our index is pulling in another, well, they're most likely to meet in the middle. And if they meet in the middle, right, that just means chop. Okay. So far, I mean, we're seeing more 2 out of 3s with volume than to the upside, right, than not. Same thing here on Amazon. So really, it's only Apple here so far that's giving us a sign of indecision. Now, it's not the best volume on, say, something like an Amazon or a Microsoft. Probably not as impressive as one would like, right? It's increasing, but it's not exactly outlier. It's not even really biggest volume of the week. So that could change relatively easily, but it's definitely something to be aware of here. So with volume here again with AMD. Well, bearish reversal setup, right? So looking for a breakout over 132. Okay. NVIDIA, inside bar. So we need to break out over 142 or under 137. So this is a ways away, right? Sorry, 133. So big range. Okay, Meta, 1 for 3 here. We're looking for a 637 breakout or a breakdown here under 621. Netflix, 2 out of 3 to the upside with volume. So we're going to look for a 943 breakout, right? Or a dip buy inside yesterday's range. Cool. And then NA for a bear case here. Okay. Google seems destined to want to hit 200. Huge volume there yesterday. Very impressive. Why did I do this again? It's 150, right? That looks fine. So 196 breakout, right? Or a dip buy off of like 186. It's a big range. Should be able to. Electric Outcast, maybe click play. I don't see any issues with the stream on my end. Okay, and then VIX. And then VIX 13.62. So relatively patient. Right, relatively patient here today. Until we can get a nice conviction breakout, right? Yesterday, not the busiest of trading days. Today's, I don't see too much of a difference here yet. So we're going to be a little bit patient, a little bit cautious, right? Until I see a strong narrative. If I don't see that enthusiasm here this morning, right, I'm not going to rush it. I'm not going to force it. I'm certainly not going to overtrade. So let's see basically how the day goes, right? Yeah, not going to rush or force anything today. Yeah, Trump is ringing the bell. That could be very interesting. I wonder if that means limit up day here today. Any questions here, team? Any questions? I mean, he's worth 400 billion. Bless his soul. All right, guys, any questions here? Any questions? Any questions, team? All right, sweet. So I'm going to go make myself a quick cup of coffee, spend a few minutes here visualizing a successful trading day, and then jump back on in a few minutes. All right, team. So let's get ready for what should hopefully be a successful trading day here. Right, we have a little bit of flexibility on ES, a little bit more of a bullish bias here on NQ, and then looking right for a nice trend line, either bounce or breakout here on CL. In general, right, we've got a little bit of a mixed bag tape here on our leading names. Some are higher, some are lower, some are gapping up, some are gapping down. And not really a huge amount of volume, right, on our leading names either. So until we see a relatively consistent narrative, it's going to be a slightly cautious day here again. And I'm basically looking for that proven otherwise before I'm willing to be aggressive. So I have no reason, right, to force anything or to rush a decision or to jump in and be hyper aggressive here. I'm basically just looking to see if I can get price action to behave. And then when I can, lose small when I lose, add to winners, and close out my trades as my P&L is increasing. If I do those things consistently, I'll keep making money, right? I'll keep this win streak going, and I'll set myself up to be nicely successful here. So that's really what I'm looking for today, right? Not here to force a trade, not here to rush a trade, not here to do anything stupid. Basically just here to control the variables I can't control. Right, focus on the quality of my process, not the quality of my outcome. And if I focus on the quality of my process, the outcome will take care of itself. So that's really what I'm focusing on here today. That's what I'm putting my energy into. And I'm hopeful that I can kind of keep this nice run of form going. And hopefully, right, kick off the rest of the week here with a bang. So it's been a great week here so far. It's been a great 2 weeks, actually in reality here. So let's keep up the momentum, right? Let's keep getting a little bit better. Let's keep focusing on the variables we can't control. And like I said, right, everything else will kind of fall into place if we do that here this morning. So I'm not going to overtrade. I'm not going to force anything. I'm not going to rush into a decision if the market isn't cooperating. And I'm certainly not going to allow the market to feel personal here today. And I'm going to force myself to be objective by cutting my trades early, right? If they're wrong, closing them before I can get greedy, and building up my position sizing when I get confirmation that my ideas are correct. If I don't get those things, if I don't get the right price action, I'm fine to sit on my hands. I'm okay to not take any trades. I don't need to force anything, right? It's the trader that controls the quality of their decisions that ultimately gets the outcome that they want. And a bad quality of decisions with a lot of decisions is a fantastic way to blow up and lose everything. So not really about that life here. That for me is not exactly a enjoyable way to go. So let's make sure, right, that we're being disciplined, structured, and trying to remain as objective as we possibly can. Make sense? All right, fantastic. Bit of a mixed bag here so far. Some names up, some names down. Indexes kind of in no man's land here. Again, no rush, right? No rush, team. This idea that you have to force or be in a rush to make money is just a guaranteed way to lose it all. So again, right, very similar start to yesterday where it's a little bit slow. Not a tremendous amount of volume at the open. So I'm going to have to just wait it out just a little bit, right? Or potentially we elongate our time frames here to look at, you know, the 5, the 10, the 15. But yeah, nothing crazy here yet to start the day off. So I'm in no rush, right? I'm really in no rush. Hey, buddy. Good boy. You hungry? He's a cutie pie. Yeah, he's a cutie pie. Try, my friend. I've got an Australian Shepherd, Kyle. A little mini Aussie Shepherd. There he is. Not enough energy, huh? Yeah, they're probably lunatics together. I'm lucky I don't have, he does not yap to save his life. Hey, good morning, Mike. Like, every time I hear Ricky bark, I'm surprised. Like, I don't recognize the noise. So I'm very lucky in that context. Maybe we can get an increasing volume here. I mean, it's 30 seconds to go. Maybe a little bit unlikely. Yes, maybe a better chance. 20 seconds to go. We'll see. But again, so far, none of this price action here has indicated anything other than chop so far, right? So possibly could play a reversal here on ES. It's increasing. It's at the white line. I'll fake out lower. Something like that. 74.75 would be the stop loss. So as is, right, you're risking 3 points a contract. It's okay. So gonna be patient here, right? I'm in no rush. It's a better reaction there. So for now, right, this would be 3 contracts. Right, the deeper pullback would allow you to buy maybe 4, 5 potentially. But for now, this would be 3. So still, let's look at the inside bar, right? Nothing has changed here yet. 9:42. We have no 10 a.m. data today. Okay, now we can look for the aggressive technique. Stop loss at 77.25. And you're looking for a little gentle pullback, right, into previous high a day. So right around here. So just being patient, right, being patient. Okay. No entry here yet. No entry. So who can tell me why this wasn't an entry? Yes, it went pretty quickly to like 80.50 from that 77.50, right? Went really, really quickly higher and then basically blew through 79.25, 78.25, right? And couldn't find any sustained move, right? So couldn't bounce off of those areas. It just flushed through immediately. So it's like it didn't respect the price action before it, right? So again, this could reset back up, right? It's 3 consecutive higher highs, or higher lows, sorry, in a row. But it just wanted to fake you out right before it made that move. So again, we could be in play here. I might be a little bit more interested in NQ. I mean, NQ's my baby. Couple fake outs lower, consolidation, dip buyers protecting that range. It's pretty interesting. Just the only thing I'm concerned about is better stop loss to be low of day versus confirmation low. Might be a slightly better setup. So stop would be 654. So if we can get a decent pullback here, it'd be a 1 contract play, right? $9.47. And again, if we're going long, right, you want to buy on the downtick, not on the uptick, right? Buy on the downtick, not the uptick. Again, little inside bar, doesn't change anything here yet. Just want to be patient and cautious. Good bounce. Okay, gonna start looking for an entry here. Okay, guys, I am in. Average price $669.75. Just 1 contract. Stop at low of day. So far, so good. getting less interested by the second here. Okay, see if this survives. See if this survives. Okay, I'm gonna look to close this, I think. Especially if I can get a little pump above my entry price. Oh, still in, still in, still in. Still in, still in, still in. Okay, I'm out here at 84. Closed at 684. $264.13. And the reason, guys, right, why I wanted to close this is I didn't like that I wasn't green on this right away. So entry didn't feel as if it was perfect. And it felt like it wanted to shake me out and chop me out in either direction. So the second it started climbing above my entry price and that move started happening quickly, rather just take the little win and run. If it then breaks out above 700, right, I can look to reset, jump back in, and trade this again. Make sense? And that was definitely the right call. That was definitely the right call in hindsight. And let's look at price action, right? If we're being objective here so far today, it's one candle up, one candle down, right? One candle up, one candle down, with no real separation away from that opening 3 or even 5 main candle. So a very choppy start to the day here, where we don't need to be hyper aggressive, right? Not enough volume on this, Michael, right? We need to see increasing outlier volume. We've got increasing but not outlier here on the 3 min. So no real difference in momentum here, or not enough of a difference in momentum to say that it's a interesting move. Outliers above the white line, right? So the white line here is the moving average, the 20 period moving average. So it looks at the volume, right? Average volume over the last 20 bars. If we're below that 20 bar average, I can't say that I have increasing momentum relative to recent price action. So far, a day of consolidation, right? Not really too much changing from that perspective. So I'm remaining relatively patient and cautious here until I get some sort of proven otherwise. Again, if I take $264 win to start the day, it's not the end of the world, right? Especially when it's a market that's this bouncy, right? I don't need to expect myself for this to have been some sort of monster session here so far. So again, realistic expectations. What I did fantastic, right, on that trade was be objective. Once it felt like it needed to close, right, I started to look for the best exit, and I got one pretty good, right? I got a pretty good exit there at 84. So if price action isn't behaving the way that you want, right, you don't have to be greedy. You can just look to get out. And that's what I did today, right? Kind of a overcorrection from yesterday, maybe, right? Yesterday, basically the same P&L, right? Was up 220 bucks, whatever it was. But I was up 900 at one point, right? And didn't take that win, and instead allowed myself to get stopped out. Today's result, right, even though it's approximately the same P&L, is a much better process trade because decided that, hey, objectively my entry isn't moving the way that I expect or isn't as strong as I would have expected. So let me close this trade and reset. And I closed this trade, right, as my P&L was increasing, not decreasing. So if I do that more consistently, right, that's going to set me up for a much better outcome than if I'm consistently buying on pullbacks, right, or closing my trade on pullbacks. So although the P&L is essentially the same or, you know, $60 more here today, it's like a order of magnitude better of a decision, right, than anything else. Yeah, so what's the bias here today on CL, Michael? Right, what are the pre-market conditions? 2 out of 3 to the upside with volume, right? So if I have 2 out of 3 to the upside with volume, and I go into the strategy docs and I look at this, right? 2 out of 3 with volume. Types of setups to look for: level breakout trades or dip buys off of support. I don't have a bearish breakdown scenario that I can trade until we lose that trend line support, right? So for now, still a higher high, still a higher low. We've still got bullish conditions, right? Or a bullish daily trend. So there's nothing here yet that has indicated a change of that trending price action. So I'm not going to front run that change in trend, right? So bearish plan here today on CL is NA, right? Or there is no bearish plan. So that will not change unless I invalidate yesterday's price action here in some context. And that has not happened by any means, right? So we can invalidate price action in two ways, either with volume or by making lower lows. And we have not established larger volume than yesterday, and we've not made lower lows compared to yesterday. So I would reference the strategy document guide because there's no reason to look for bearish scenarios here yet. Understood? So we're not just looking for the first outlier candle or first outlier volume that we see. We're looking for the first narrative that matches our daily bias or matches our daily setup trigger, right? So we're looking for short-term trends to sync up with the long-term trend. And then that's how we're going to set ourselves up for big follow-through. So once we have trending price action and we've got a breakout in that direction, then yes, absolutely, we can start to look to trade basically every increasing outlier volume candle, or we can start to have a bit more of a view towards that. But outlier volume candles on a 3-min time frame compared to the daily are basically meaningless unless it's in the same direction. So I'm still looking for a possible reversal scenario here, right? A bounce off the trend line, something along those lines. Maybe on ES, right? We can play a breakdown scenario because we've got 1 for 3 conditions, right? So non-trending price action. So we can look to establish new trending PA. But again, that has not happened here yet. And Q, we have a bullish only bias here today, unless we get bigger volume than yesterday. We did, technically. But again, right, in this low VIX environment, 13.86, it does not pay us to try to call tops here very aggressively. And it's okay if markets want to chop about and not move. I'm happy to sit on hands and basically sit that out, right? It's been a really good last 20 days trading. So this idea that I need to now force action here today is a self-imposed limiting belief, not a reality. Okay, so increasing outlier volume. What maybe is a bit iffy about this ES candle? So if that volume is strong, what would we have expected bears to have done? Yeah, it did make a lower low, but couldn't hold under the previous low of day, right? So it made a lower low and then bounced back up above that area. So if I'm expecting bears to be strong, I'm expecting bears to be able to hold those levels with conviction. And they didn't do that, right? So that means I can pass on this burden of confirmation here to the 5-min and wait for a close under 73.75, right? Or 73.50. So we need to see a close under that yellow line. If I can't, right, then that's an indication of indecision, right? Or kind of like choppy price action, right? Or fake out price action. So instead of chasing that breakdown, just pass on the burden of confirmation to a longer time frame and see if it can reset. And then NQ, right, she might be wanting to be giving us a little bit of a reversal. And now when we're looking at this objectively, little fake out lower and then now back higher. So closing that trade where we did was absolutely the right call here. And we basically just avoided some headaches, right? So NQ might want to set back up for us. We'll keep an eye. ES doesn't appear to be giving us that lower low close again. So again, we pass on that burden of confirmation to a longer time frame, or we see if something else wants to come together. So now now NQ, right? Little fake out lower, increasing outlier volume, possibly some trapped bears here, right? So we have basically the same setup we had on the 3-min time frame, but now on the 5-min time frame. So again, let's see how this thing wants to behave. So stop loss would have to be 677 for now. And I'm not in a rush to make this decision, right? If all I've seen here so far is very choppy price action, right? One candle up, one candle down, one candle up, one candle down. I'm not just going to assume that because I have a setup trigger that now things are different, right? So I would rather be late on this, and play the breakout above the high of the opening range than I would be to get faked out, right, before this move happens. So base assumption here is that markets are going to behave like they always have until proven otherwise. And today's always have, right, is choppy, bouncy, one up, one down, one up, one down, one up, one down. So I want to apply a slightly stricter standard, basically, or see bears fail in some context, right, before I jump into my trade. Does that make sense? So far I've seen fake outs and then move, fake outs and then move, fake outs and then move. I'm not going to take that first entry because I've already seen a million fake outs, right? Does that make sense, team? Yes? Right? So if you have a P&L based mindset and you're chasing a number, you're going to ignore those clues. If you're focusing on the quality of your decisions, right, then you can be a little bit more objective. Okay, what has price done here so far today? How would that impact my thesis or change my potential bias? And you can avoid getting chopped about and frustrated, right, as all heck. Now, ES possibly setting up here on the 10-min. Like we said, needs to close under that yellow line. Otherwise, right, it's fake out scenarios. So definitely worth keeping an eye on here for the next minute or so. But like I said, right, base assumption here is fake out or chop until proven otherwise. And we need to make sure we're seeing that proven otherwise. Okay, and Q right now flushing, so this ES setup looking to be the most likely here. Right? So again, I've just avoided mistakes here so far, right? By slowing down and trying to be objective instead of trying to rush it. Okay. So now let's see if this thing can break down, right? And we'd have a 3-point stop loss. So stop loss would have to be 72.50. Right? And then entry would have to be at that 70. So a little pullback here now, right, would mean that I'm buying 4 contracts, not more. Okay, so still looking for my entry. Might have just missed it there, ranting and raving like a lunatic. Right? Possibly could buy this 69.50. Would like to still, I'd rather get that 4 contracts than 3. Okay, gonna start watching here. Just be careful about the pace of this pullback. Okay, so I am in average price 60, 69, 75. I'm in the 69s all day today. And so far, so good here, right? So far, so good. And let's see if this thing can flush. But again, right, green on this entry almost right away. That pullback I don't like too much. Come on. A little bit bouncier than I would like. See, they can flush here. Okay, guys, I am out at right here, 69 bucks. Closed at 69. So 148.89 on that trade. But that did not feel like the correct reaction, right, to that making lower lows. Definitely feels like the right decision. So, okay. So far, not a monster day by any means. $411 per account, right? But making good decisions here, protecting myself from being greedy, and not allowing, basically, yeah, greed to influence my decisions. And the reason, right, why I'm not going to basically hold it against myself, right, that I didn't close this trade as my P&L was increasing, right, is because I didn't quite get to that 1R move here yet, right? So I was still very much within sort of the range of my initial entry, right? 1R would have been like 66.75. That didn't quite happen there. So for me, this was more about just not allowing this trade to become a loser versus holding it against myself that I didn't close it right at 0.35R or whatever, right? That for me is a little bit meaningless. So the move hadn't really been significant enough to feel like I can't let this go, right? You guys get that? So my notes here, good initial entry, but the price got stuck before making a 1R move. Felt trappy, so got out for a small win. Okay, now NQ giving us a possible reversal scenario here again. 1R is based on the amount of risk I have on a trade. So if my stop loss is 3.5 points, right, or 4 points, a 1R move would be 4 points or 3.5 points for my entry. Okay, so NQ, very, very interesting here. That was 100% the right call. 100% the right call to close. So it'd be something like this. Now, a 60 to 24 stop loss, right? Too big. I'm not going to be able to get the position sizing I want on that trade. So ideally, right, I'm looking for something tighter, right, from a risk perspective. So aggressive technique here would be ideal, right? Second largest volume bar of the day. That's a pretty good sign. Love me a red to green reversal. Favorite setup probably to trade. And I would emphasize or prioritize trading NQ versus ES on this, because NQ's got a better indication of trending price action on the daily time frame, right? Say 2 out of 3 with volume versus a 1 out of 3. So you'd anticipate, right, that the larger trend or the better daily trend is going to have more follow through here to the upside. Okay, so for now, stop loss 671. Again, we're looking for a little pullback here. Might be able to get 2 contracts. Okay, still not in. Again, right, we've seen a million fake outs here so far. So base assumption is it will fake you out first and then make its move. Okay, so now we're going to start to look for an entry here. Okay, guys, I am in 682, 2 contracts. Stop at 671. Come on. Here it goes. Love to see this thing break out over 700 here. So far, so good, though. So far, so good. Who's in with me here, team? Who's in here with me? Fantastic. So again, right, a little bit of deja vu to yesterday. Just be careful around this 700 reaction. That's 700 bucks, right? So see if we can get that big pop through. Otherwise, we'll look to get out and protect and reset. Come on. Come on, come on. Fly, baby. See if it can pop here. See if it can pop. Okay, watching closely here, watching closely. I'm not even looking at my P&L, I'm just watching these candles, right? Okay, there we go, guys. I have closed at 710. I have closed at 710. Woo! Let's go. Great day. Three for three here, team. Well done. And the reason why I'm looking to close this, right, I'm correcting over yesterday's mistake. So as we hit that 700 bar yesterday, right, we couldn't do that on increasing volume. We've got 3 minutes to go on this bar and not anticipating increasing volume. So I'm just going to take that win, reset, and see if I can get down on a different time frame, right? So far, so good here today, team. So far, so good. Right? 3 for 3, 2 small wins, 1 nice win. We're in great shape here, right? We're in great shape. So right now, instead of having to deal with the stress of, oh my gosh, what do I do now on this pullback? I am out. I have reset. I have no FOMO because I closed my trade as my P&L was at its high, right? That I saw. Okay, maybe I could have closed at 714 or something like that. But who cares, right? I don't give a shit. It's not enough. Right, you get that? So, yes, maybe hypothetically I could have gotten a lot more here. But I traded the price action in front of me. I'm watching just the price, Craig, right? I'm just watching the price. Is the price moving faster, higher than it's moving lower? Right? So when I'm in a trade, I'm basically just watching this red thing. And I'm tracking it that way. But it's what do you find easier, right? So if you're more of a visual person, watch the candle shape. If you're more of a numbers person, watch the numbers. That for me is the wrong thing to focus on. It doesn't make a difference. Let's go, Rusty. And good decision here, right? Good decision to have gotten out at that 610. Let's go. Great day here, team. Great day. Any questions? Sounds good, Rusty. Enjoy your day, man. So everyone feeling good here this morning? Everyone feeling good? Oh, he is. There he is. Love it, team. Well, everyone welcome. Great day here. Don't like that it couldn't hold above previous high a day, right? That for me is a little bit of a indication of chop, Craig. Right? So it's a attempt to break out, couldn't hold on increasing volume. I would want to see a breakout and hold above the range, make new highs. No real compromises. I think objectively here, I'm probably not going to place any further trades. It's been a really strong trading day. Don't need to do anything else. I mean, it's only 10:30, so I do have a little bit of time, but I mean, it's a good day. It's like a $1,500 day. I'd rather finish up 1,500 bucks than down. Again, right, that'll be day 11 green in a row, right? Day 11 green in a row. So for me, again, right, green days turn into green weeks turn into green months turn into fuck yous to your boss. It's one of my favorite sayings. What do you mean by study these charts, Kyle? What do you mean? Like, what are you looking for specifically? The white graph? What's the white graph? What does that mean? No worries, mate. No worries. But yeah, if you send me a message, I'll do my best to point you in the right direction. And Craig, you see what I mean though, right? By the fake out here on ES, right? So couldn't hold above, next candle, right? Little fake out higher again. right? We want to see higher highs hold if we're going to assume that it's going to be anything other than chop. And again, we made a good call on NQ here, right? Not getting greedy. Okay, maybe you could have closed that 71.20 or 70.20, sorry. Right? But I closed 10 points from the current high of day. I had no problems with that, right? Because A, I didn't see it hit 71.20, 21.720, geez. I didn't see it hit 21.720 right before getting stopped out. I closed as the trade was going in my favor, right? So you control your FOMO a lot easier that way when you don't give your brain the chance to basically see a larger number, right? And then again, instead of, okay, now once it's 70.20, setting my stop loss to now be 71, right? 710. It's a lot better psychologically to have stopped yourself out before that happens and then not feel the FOMO of, oh, fuck, it stopped me out. Now it's running, right? That's a lot worse of a feeling. How's everyone feeling today? Good? Not so good? Happy? Not so happy? Everyone understand why we've behaved the way we've behaved here today? Well, time to go enjoy the rest of your day, Electric Outcast, right? And maybe, right, you're seeing the value of this program, or even if it's more than you expected, and you'll make it all back in a couple days, right? No, not really, Jacob. Yeah, I saw that message already, Electric Outcast, like I said. Not really, Jacob. I for sure could trade the options, but I hate dealing with the decay. I hate dealing with all the Greeks. It's so much extra pain in the ass to get less leverage than what I get just to trade the straight up futures. So futures have more liquidity, better spreads. And I think they're just easier to trade. Well, realistically, you might not have access to the stream anymore next week. Right? You don't have lifetime access to the stream, bud. Well, weren't you in the stream last week too? Right? So again, I don't think we've missed out on anything here, team. We've done a pretty good job avoiding dumb trades. So I'm not going to place any further action here today. Happy to basically just keep compounding away and stacking up some nice green days. Sounds good, John. You have a great day too, man. Sounds good, Joe. Enjoy, man. All right, guys. Any other questions here? Any other questions? Sounds good, Mike. Enjoy the rest of your day, man. All right, team. Final call for questions here. Final call for questions. Sounds good, Jeff. Enjoy the rest of your day. All right, team. Well, same deal like always, right? If you have any questions, hit me up outside of market hours. Do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. In the meantime, right, hope you all have yourselves a fantastic rest of the day. Looking forward to catching up with a few of you here in our one-on-ones later this afternoon. And let's let the good times roll, right? It's been a nice little run of form here. Been controlling our variables very well. We've kept ourselves objective, right? And that's allowed us to be very, very profitable here recently. So more of the same, right? Track that in your journal, right? Remind yourself that when you remain in control, you win. When you give up that control, you let God, let Powell, right? You don't stand the chance of making any money. So really good reminder here, right? 11 nice green days in a row. Let's keep the good times rolling. And let's finish off the week with an absolute bang here tomorrow. So have yourselves a great day, team. Looking forward to catching up with you guys soon. And I'll see you then.